I am in a Woody tier hotel, and it is, it makes me respect Woody's toughness, his mental toughness more, because here I'm out of town, as you can probably surmise, Tucker. And
that hotel is far.
He's like a David Goggins type character.
Yes. I'm on a trip with my wife's family, and they have she has a lot of siblings, all their significant others, like 14 people. We're in this big mountain place up in Gatlinburg, hiking, whitewater raft, and a bunch of outdoorsy stuff. And the whole week, I'm like planning around doing the show, and I'm like trying to influence people to be like. And I had the plan set where it was supposed to be everyone was gonna fucking leave tonight for almost all of it, and I'd been encouraging like, this can be everybody's like leave night, get the fuck out of here so I can like stay and do the show. And then it was like this morning, like late morning, early afternoon, my wife's like, no one is doing that anymore, but I'm sure no one would mind you just like doing the show there. And I'm like, so not only do I have 13 people like on
how many times did you hit her?
Potentially, but I'm also gonna be that dickhead like loudly announcing one portion of an inappropriate conversation to people. Like, it's not just my vacation, that's mind numbing. That would be so rude of me. And so my wife's like, we'll find you a place. So we were like, all right, I bet there's a hotel real close. There wasn't. And so we find a hotel, the closest one. I drive 45 minutes into Gatlinburg. I get here, it's a $55 a night hotel, and I get in.
You gotta give me the name of that place because it looks nice to me.
Yeah,
I was telling 57, I think it was. I was telling Kyle that I'm pretty sure all of the labels and placards here were surplus from the Pittsburgh Steelers, because all the room cards, all the room numbers, they've all got a Pittsburgh Steelers logo on it. We're in Tennessee. So I don't know why that would be. But the first thing I noticed when I got here.
Oh, my God.
Not that bad. But the first thing I noticed when I got here is I'm like, all right, desk. It's really janky. It's really happy. And there's no outlets near it. And so I have to unplug the refrigerator to find a working outlet to plug my laptop in. There are no working outlets. To have my phone charging, I have to have it in the bathroom. I had to lean the Bible up underneath where my plug is in the outlet so that it wouldn't fall out like that. This is a shithole. There's red stains on the floorboards. It's gross.
Yeah.
There's so much shit. I guarantee there's bed bugs.
It's a hooker motel.
It's a hooker motel. It has to be.
I haven't told you guys this. I have a related story. Maybe 10 days ago, something like that. I wanted a new motorcycle. I told you guys I put a down payment on a new bike, but
you buy so many motorcycles that I've kind of lost track. It's like
that's fair. I don't expect you to keep up, but I was in a bad mood, so I figured I'll just buy a new bike. And they got a call a little while later, and they're like, Woody, that bike we said was coming in mid-September. It's not. We're looking at a ship date of end of November from Japan. And I'm like, well, it gets cold here, so you're kind of telling me I'm going to get this bike next spring. Not cool. Well, this bike is hard to find. There's a reason it wasn't in stock here. It's not in stock anywhere. So I just hit the internet and I start looking everywhere. I find one in the glorious town of Ames, Iowa. So I'm like, Iowa? Fuck it. Count me in. So I buy a plane ticket. I grab my helmet and I fly out to Iowa. And now I'm on a 2 or 3 day ride back. Like, this is how the adventure begins. We go there, we buy a motorcycle, and we bring it home. In Cincinnati, in Iowa City, I didn't have like my first hotel figured out, and I'm tired. It's been a long day between the flight and the buying of the motorcycle. You know what it's like to buy a vehicle with all the freaking paperwork and everything. I eventually arrive at this hotel, and it seems nice, but not outlandishly nice. And they say $699. And I'm like, that's a lot to me. I was like, and I just said, can you do better? Like, that just seems expensive. Like, can you do better than that? And she's like, yeah. I can do $399. And I'm like,
holy shit.
So I said, look, I acknowledge that that's better, but that's still a lot for a room. $399.
And I just spent like $12,000. So.
It was like 30. And
what did you buy?
So Woody's haggling over there. $699. I don't have $500.
Yeah.
$350. What are you talking $299?
So And I just complimented the woman's tattoo. She had this like a saying, like, it was something about being beautiful on her collarbone that her grandmother had told her when she was a kid, and it was in her grandmother's handwriting. And I just genuinely like the tattoo. I'm like, that is beautiful. I like that. So anyway, now after I've established my connection, I'm like, what can we do on the price? And so she like calls up her manager and she's like, I got this guy here and he seems like he'll be no trouble. Like, what's the best price we could do? $199, down from $699. Art of the deal, baby. Art of the deal.
Woody, where were you staying that had that flexible pricing? And also, like, $800 is like prime, like the nicest hotel that you should probably ever be. Like a 4-star.
I've been to Cincinnati. Okay.
Yeah, there ain't shit in there.
This was Iowa City. I know I said Cincinnati, but I got the place.
Iowa City.
Iowa City Hotel.
Iowa City.
I couldn't say that. Look it up, but we'd ruin the flow of the show. But yeah, all these prices. Oh, this is all true.
Yeah,
and the hotel was nice and had a restaurant on the roof. If you guys want to, like, if that helps you find which one it was in Iowa City. But yeah, it was cool, and I was proud of myself for knocking down the price.
Yeah. Like
good for you.
I think. Now, let me ask you this, because in I don't know what the place looks like. So, like, I was expecting $100 a night hotel, like you're like a step above the Holiday Inn, maybe. But like, were you shocked to hear 600, or were you like, I knew it was going to be
$699? No, I was. I thought it was going to come in at like 380 or something.
And it's one room or two.
Now, Woody, I can't even find one that has.
Nice room.
I can't even find one that is more than $180 on
in Iowa City.
Yeah. Like the casino
and a
is
scam
200.
I'll recognize the name.
I'm all the way down to
because I was just curious. I was like, that's so crazy. Yeah,
that's an expensive hotel room. That's crazy. I think the most expensive one I ever bought. We got that suite one time in Austin. They did come down crazy on the price of that. Come to think of it, from like $5,000 to like, I don't know, $2,500 or something. Still exorbitant and absurd, but we wanted to stay in this crazy suite, and it's fucking cool. But anyway, there was another time when, how much did they come down on it was during one of those LA trips. It was like probably E3, and there were no hotel rooms because it's like during E3.
Yeah.
And I want to have sex with a girl, but I'm sharing a hotel room with friends. And so I'm like, with this girl in her car in LA looking for a room to fucking driving around. And we ended up at like, I was like, we'll find a Holiday Inn. Of course we will. Let's drive 20 minutes. And we ended up seeing like an LAPD, like scary crime scene type situation. And I was like, take us back to the fancy part of town. I'll get the expensive one. And I think I spent maybe $700 or something.
Must have been good pussy.
It was like yeah, sure. But I mean, it's about the experience too. You're having a good time.
It was about the experience. Yeah.
But in that case, I want to say it was like a corner suite. Like we had like a corner of the building. Like it wasn't that's crazy. I don't know.
Dude, in this room, someone stole the things that you use to screw on the top of lampshades.
Why?
What do they do
what's
with
the
them?
point?
They're gone. I had to put all the lampshade tops back on. The first thing I did when I got here, I'm like, I need to take a pre-show shit. Yeah. I go to sit on the toilet and I get a rock back. The toilet is barely moored to the ground. and then I go to the phone here because I'm like, they took my card for incidentals. I don't want them thinking like I destroyed the toilet, like, and because it was already rocking when you sit on it. Toilet. And then I go to call, the phone is disconnected.
No,
there's not a connected.
All right, that's a new one. I've never seen the phone disconnected.
It's plugged in, but you've lifted up. There's no dial tone. There's no buttons. It's not on.
That's even worse.
Is it not plugged into the wall outlet?
I barely had enough toilet paper here to wipe. I didn't look before I started. Thank God. Thank God. I didn't have to duck walk back. Oh, I couldn't go to the actual check-in place. Go to the actual check-in place here, and it says go to a different hotel. So I had to drive to a different hotel nearby to check in. And I'm like, I'm trying to check in for the fucking Pittsburgh Steelers Inn or whatever the fuck. And they're like, yeah, you're in the right place. And I'm like, well, don't be pissed about it. Like,
dude, I hate that. I stay in some shitty places, but I do expect someone to be working in the office. That's kind of a hotel thing. When I get there should be someone nearby. When they're like, call my cell and I'll get up and come in, it's no problem. It's like, you make me feel bad. I thought you'd be
Oh,
working.
I've never gotten that before.
Neither have
Oh.
I. Where are you
Mm.
staying?
So
yeah, the
usually-
shittiest motels where the door leads directly to your room. Oftentimes, if you
motels,
get there
yeah,
at
yeah.
night, there's no one working there.
No,
but there
okay,
is
I've
someone
seen
on
that
call.
before.
Oh yeah, okay.
Like I've gone to hotels plenty of times. It's an interesting job, and I often because I've often had this problem, not to sound like too much of a sleaze, but where like I want to go have sex with someone, but I've got people at my house that I don't want to like wake up and
Mhm.
weird out. Like it happened for when we lived in that lake house. There was like not enough privacy, so like
Mhm.
Kitty's in the basement and I'm up in a loft, but like there's nothing but air if you like drew a line between us. There's no doors because she's got a fucking spiral staircase. So I'm fucking chicks in hotels all the time for years. And so like sometimes you roll up there at midnight, 1 a.m. and you have to like bang on the like slidey door, and then some guy comes out like sleepy eyed out of the back, and I'm like, dude, you asleep back there? It's like, yeah, man, catching some Z's, and I can smell the weed. So I know what kind of job this is. I usually have a little chat with those people when I roll in there late at night for whatever reason, and it's
Dude,
all
I was
voice to
asking just for like basic tips, like when I was like checking in. I'm like, so I may not be staying here tonight. What do is there a Dropbox for the keys? Is there something like I should do? And one guy said yes, and the other guy said, yeah, but you don't have to worry about it. And I was like, all right, well,
Is it a key card?
Yeah, it's a key card.
No,
And so
I
it's like,
never do anything.
why would there be a sign that says you have to return your keys or you get charged $10 if it's a key card?
If I'm in a good mood, I leave the key card in the room when I walk out.
I take them
is
with
to
me
do that.
because if you're ever locked out of your house and it's not a deadbolt, they work great. You don't fuck up a credit card for like breaking into your own house. So I keep one of
good
those in my wallet. Yeah, they're cheap.
Nice. I keep
Because
one in
I've
just in
like
case I want to
ruined a
use the
debit card
pool.
one time. I
Just
was
in
locked
case you
out.
use the pool.
I was locked
Yeah.
out of my house one time, and I think I had to shit too, and I wasn't alone. Like, there's people behind me, like, can we go inside now? And it's like, and I'm just like ruining my debit card, breaking into the house.
Have you ever seen the pool in Leaving Las Vegas?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a dirtier, shittier version of that
Okay.
with no water in it.
That happens a lot. Yeah, they don't.
Hit that subscribe button right now.